Hey guys, welcome to your practice. My name is Jenny Contos, and this sequence is designed to strengthen your body for any inversion that you might be working towards. We'll be doing lots of things on our hands, jumping forward and jumping back. So if you do have any tight hamstrings, make sure you have two blocks. Maybe even a strap might be helpful in this practice as well. Always remember to take any modifications that you might need, dropping your knees at any time that you need to, taking child's pose at any time that you might need. I have a lot of conversations with students about inversions in general and how eager everyone is to do an inversion, but the work that it takes in order to do them safely is really, really hard work. So if this practice is challenging, it's because it's a challenging practice. So take what you need, leave what you don't, and let's have some fun. Frank says so too. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so lie on your back. Take the back of your head down to the ground. Lift your shoulders, take those shoulder blades and squeeze them together, and then lower your upper back down. So you'll feel that the shoulder blades are integrated into the shoulder girdle. You might feel an arc of your low back and mid back up off the floor. Draw your pubic bone towards the navel and get your low back to press down. So really we're just taking the pelvis from an interior tilt, lifting the pubic bone, pressing the low back down. Extend your right leg up to the sky, all the while keeping your low back flat on the floor. Pull your navel to your spine to support your low back. Your hands can rest down. Your hands can reach and grab behind your hamstrings. Just make sure that the head and the neck stay relaxed on the floor. Flex your toes to your face, and then point the toes up towards the sky. And again, flex the toes to your face. And bring the pinky side edge of your foot up, and you'll feel a nice stretch in that right side of your ankle. And bring your sole of the foot back up to the sky. Take the inner edge of the foot up. Spread your toes as wide as you can. And all the while, press the leg into your hand, hand into leg, so you get an optimal hamstring stretch here. And you can even keep the knee bent if you need to. And bring that foot back up to center. And bend your right knee. Draw your knee into your chest. Switch your hands to the front of your shin. So drawing that knee towards your right shoulder. And release. Take your right foot down to meet your left, second side. Again, let's reset. Lift your shoulders. Squeeze them together. Lower those shoulder blades down. Lift your pubic bone. Press your low back down into the ground. From here, left leg extends up. Flex your toes to your face. And you have the option. Maybe you take and reach your hands around that left hamstring. Notice if your inner thigh kind of curls up towards your chest. Move your inner thigh down, so maybe towards your right knee, so you can get that leg as square as possible. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. And flex your toes back towards your face. Pinky edge of your foot up towards the sky. Get a nice stretch in that left side of your leg. And then bring it back to center. Take the inner edge of your foot up towards the sky. Spread your toes. And bring the sole of your foot back up. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. Switch your hands around your left shin and draw your knee toward your left shoulder. And keeping a soft space between your teeth, tongue away from the roof of your mouth. So real quick, for any inversions that you might be doing on your head, you want to be super mindful that you only have about 20% of the weight in your head. And you want to keep the jaw and the face as soft as possible. We're going to be using a lot of your back and shoulders, your core strength, to keep the weight out of your head, or even if you're working on forearm balance, the weight out of your shoulders or out of your neck. And if you're working on a handstand, same thing. We just want to make sure that we are strengthening intelligently. Release that left foot down. Bring your both knees back into your chest. Take one rock back and forward, cross your ankles, plant your hands, and come into a tabletop pose. And as I said before, sometimes, or not sometimes, rather, working into the inversion is actually what's going to strengthen our body. So even though you might be able to hold a handstand, or you might be able to hold a headstand, doing the appropriate exercises or postures or work that you need to do will get you a little bit, will get you a lot stronger. So from here, come to the tips of your fingers. So just lift your palms up off the floor, shift your shoulders over your wrists, and just pulse up. And we'll go for 10, pulsing the hands up and down, clawing the mat with your fingertips. 9, 8, you might start to feel your forearms turn on or maybe start to burn a little bit. That's normal. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sit up onto your knees, reach your arms up to the sky, spread your fingers as super wide as possible, and then squeeze your fists together, and then open up your hands. Squeeze your fists and open. Go as fast as you can. Squeeze as tight as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, breathe. 6, soften your shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back forward. Bring your fingertips and point them towards the long edges of your mat, the thumbs forward, and rock from side to side. Getting into some nice wrist flexion. A nice stretch into your forearms. And take one more from right to left. And come back to center. One more. Turn your fingertips in towards your knees this time. Your thumbs point out towards the long edges of your mat. Bend your elbows and start to peel the heels of your hands up off the ground. Really press into your fingertips. Maybe get the heels of your hands off the ground. Maybe start to get towards the palms and sink your hips back towards your heels. And sit up nice and tall. Shake out your wrists. And so why is it important if we're working towards inversions to make sure our ankles and our wrists and our hands are open and strengthened? Is because a lot of times our hands are in contact with the ground. The other times our feet are what catch us on the way down. So we want to make sure that those two areas of our body are turned on and strengthened. Downward facing dog. Take your hands forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up towards the sky. On an inhale, come forward into a plank pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrist. Exhale, back to a downward facing dog. Press the floor away with your hands and lift your hips. Inhale, come back forward into a plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Come back into a plank pose and we'll pause here. If you need to drop your knees for a modification, drop your knees down to the ground. If you can imagine my hand between your shoulder blades, lift my hand up towards the sky. So feel the shoulder blades start to separate. It's called protraction. Make sure your shoulders are over your wrists, so even rock to the tips of your toes. Lift the pubic bone so that the low back starts to round just slightly. And take another big breath. And exhale, lower all the way down to the earth. Elbows squeeze in. Slide your hands up off your mat. Come to the tips of your fingers. Inhale to a big cobra. Lift from mid-back. So if you feel anything in your low back, you've gone too far, or release immediately. Take your right shoulder into your midline. Look over your left shoulder. Come back to center. Roll that right shoulder back. Exhale your left shoulder into your midline. Look over your right. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, lower the chest down. Slide hands underneath your shoulders, thumbs in line with nipples. Tuck your toes, press up to plank. Take your hips back, down dog. Take your right leg up to the sky, deep breath. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Pyramid pose, bump your left foot in, straighten your right leg. So here, if you would like to use blocks underneath your hands, please use blocks. That will help bring the floor a little bit closer to you. Your right hip is squeezing back, left hip bone pointing down. Lift your kneecaps, make your legs super, super strong. Take a look at your right big toes on the deep breath. On your exhale, bend the right knee over your heel. Standing split, take your left leg up to the sky. Look back at your left toes, make sure those toes are pointing directly down to the earth. Option to stay, option to take your right hand to your hip crease and guide that right hip bone back away from your ribs. And when you have that, take your hands back down to the floor or to a block. Lift your left heel a little higher using your leg as a team, the calf, the hamstring, and the glute. On your exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Press down with your hands and round your upper back as much as possible. Take that left leg back up to the sky, deep breath. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round the upper back. Inhale, lift your left leg back up to the sky. And exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Step your left foot down to meet your right. Halfway lift, hands to shins, thighs or floor. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up, deep breath, Urdhva Hastasana. Take your hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Lift your chest, deep breath in, tailbone south. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees a lot, rest your ribs to your thighs. Shift your weight to your right leg, extend the left leg as much as you can, and turn your heart open. Come back to center, bend the left knee, shift your weight to your left foot, straighten your right, turn your heart to the right. Right hip is squeezing back away from the shoulder. Come back to center, bend both knees, release the head and neck, rise all the way up. Deep breath in, stretch your spine, gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back and lengthen. Exhale, step your left leg back. Inhale, step your right leg back to a plank pose. Drop your knees if you need to. Lower your right forearm down to the earth. Your right elbow goes underneath your shoulder. Lower your left forearm down to the earth. Left elbow underneath your left shoulder. Come to your right hand on a deep breath in. Come to your left hand on a deep breath out. Stay here on your inhale, lift the space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, chaturanga or down dog, your choice. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. Lift your left leg up to the sky, deep, deep breath. Step your left foot all the way forward between your hands. Pyramid pose, you can bump that right foot in if you'd like. Squeeze your left hip back. Crown of the head lengthens towards that left big toe. Heart melts over your left thigh. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And always using this breath as a tool and a guide. Maybe even a gauge to see if you've gone too far in a posture. So typically when you hold your breath, it means you've gone too far or that you're overstimulated. Take another big inhale. And exhale, bend the left knee over your heel. Standing split, take your right leg up to the sky. Spiral the right inner thigh up, get that hip bone down. And maybe take your left hand to that left hip crease. Guide your left hip bone back away from the ribs. And when you're ready, left hand comes back down to the earth or to your blocks. Breathe as deep as possible. Lift your right leg high. Use your leg as a team as opposed to externally rotating your hip to get that leg a little higher. Keep your toes pointing directly down to the ground. So we're using our muscles here to lift the leg. Take one more big breath. On your exhale, draw your knee to your nose, round your upper back, press into your hands. Inhale, take your right leg back up to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, press into the hands. Inhale, take your right leg up to the sky. One more exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round the upper back, protract. Step your right foot down to meet your left. Inhale to a chair pose, Utkatasana, sit your hips down low. Reach both arms high. Stay for your exhale. Squeeze out our hips, deep breath. Lift your ribs away from your thighs, exhale. Take one more big breath, stretch your spine. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands, step right leg all the way back. Plank pose is your inhale, protract in your upper back. Exhale, lower your left forearm down to the earth. Inhale, lower your right forearm down to the earth. Exhale, come to your left hand. Inhale, come to your right hand, plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale and exhale. And take a look back at your toes, bend your knees, walk your hands back to your feet, find a forward fold to the back of your mat. Take your peace fingers, your index finger and middle finger, in between your first and big toe. So wrap them around the big toes, seal it with your thumb, Padagustasana, elbows out, crown of the head down.
Pull your navel in and up like you may have an imaginary rope between your stomach and your thighs. Notice if your shoulders droop down towards your ears. Keep them rolling back and plugged in. Keep your grip, straighten your arms, look forward, deep breath. Exhale, bend your elbows, fold in a little deeper. And again, deep inhale. And exhale. One more flat back pause. Micro bend your knees, slide hands to the hip creases. On an exhale, stand up nice and tall with a flat back. Posterior chain work. Take your arms up to the sky, big breath. Hands to your heart center. Okay, if you have blocks or if you have books, go ahead and grab your blocks. I'm going to place these at the front of my mat. And I'm going to make sure they're about hip bone width apart, maybe a little wider than my hips so that I can use them for assistance and even to make my limbs a little longer. Find mountain pose at the back of your mat. Turn your fingertips forward. Lift your pubic bone towards your navel. And so when we think of inversions, we think about being upside down on our head. And if we did inversions, right, and we had our chest sticking out, our butt sticking back, then we probably, with the rule of gravity, we'd fall over at one point, or we would be able to get our hips up over our shoulders. So bring your hips underneath your shoulders. That's going to take lifting the pubic bone. Boop. Pull your navel in and up. Take your shoulders back. Lift the crown of your head up to the sky. And so believe it or not, mountain pose is actually present in every single one of our postures that we create to some degree. Reach your arms above your head, flex your hands like you're raising the roof, and press the heels of your hands up to the sky. Notice if your ribs came really wide, bring front ribs in, knit them in. Option to stay here, option to bend your elbows. Lift your elbows alongside your ears, squeeze elbows in, and bring your forearms down, or lift your forearms up towards the sky. So think here, forearm stand. Bring front ribs in. And now interlace your fingers behind your head. Take that little basket, wrap it behind the base of your skull, squeeze your elbows in. Lift your head up, keep your front ribs in. This is headstand. Reach your arms up towards the sky, deep breath, maybe gaze to the thumbs. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, hinge at your hips. Inhale, walk your hands forward to a plank pose, and we'll pause here. Drop your knees down to the earth on your exhale. Bring your right forearm down to the floor. Bring your left forearm down to the floor and interlace your fingers all but your pinkies. Take the thumbs together, so you're going to make a little point for your nose. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for dolphin pose. Keep pressing your forearms down and forward. Press your wrists down. Walk your feet as far forward as possible. Now gaze to your thumbs. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, shift forward, tap your nose to your thumbs. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come forward for 3. Inhale, come back. Exhale, forward for 2. Inhale, back. And last one, exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back. Exhale, walk your feet back, forearm plank. Inhale, come to your right hand. Exhale, come to your left hand. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up towards the sky. Lift your right leg up, deep breath in. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Standing split, lift your left leg up to the sky, big breath in. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Inhale, lift your left leg back up to the sky. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, round the upper back. And one more. Inhale, take your left leg back up. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose. Micro bend your standing leg. Come all the way up. Draw your left knee to your chest. Reach both arms up to the sky. If you'd like to flex your hands and pretend like you're doing a handstand, right side up, then do that. Take front ribs in. Lift the palms up. Stretch up. Take another big inhalation. On your exhale, back to your standing split. Take your hands down to the earth. Lift your left leg up to the sky. Press down through your hands. Lift your right heel. Bend the right knee. Hop your right foot to the center of your mat. So you're going to hop it back. Now again, lift your right heel. Bend your right knee. Hop your right foot back to a three-legged dog. Look to the center of your mat. Lift your right heel.
Bend your knee, now hop your right foot center, pressing into your hands. Look between your hands, lift that right heel, bend your knee, hop your right foot all the way forward between your hands. Step your left leg back, spin the left heel flat, warrior one, deep inhalation. Cactus out your arms on your exhale. Take your left elbow underneath your right, hook your forearms and hook your hands. If eagle arms is too much for you, just bring your forearms together. Curl from mid back, upper back, lift your chest, and exhale, bow to the inside of your right knee. Right hip squeezing back. This should feel really, really good after those handstand hops. Lift your forearms forward, take your elbows away from your chest. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Stay here for your inhalation. Keep your bow. On an exhale, just unravel the arms. Inhale to a skandasana to the left. Your left toes are going to pivot towards the back corner of your mat. Your right toes are going to flex up towards the sky. So hips can go as low as you'd like them to. I prefer the heel to be down onto the ground so that your knee's not shooting more forward over your big toe. And how to keep that heel down, you can just take your hands down to the earth and lift your hips up as much as you need. Isometrically guide that right heel in toward your midline. Lift your sternum to your thumbs. Take out any rounding of your upper back. Take another big breath here and big breath out. Inhale to a lunge to the front of your mat. Right knee over your heel. Exhale, straighten your right leg, squeeze your right hip back. Inhale here, lengthen. And exhale, fold. Inhale, three-legged dog. Lift your right leg up towards the sky. Bend the right knee, open up your hip. Inhale, re-extend right toes up, hip bone down. Exhale, come forward into a plank pose. Take a deep breath in at the top of your plank. Exhale, right forearm down to the ground. Inhale, left forearm down to the ground. Interlace your fingers. Exhale, tap your nose to your thumbs. And so here we'll keep plank pose this time. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come forward. If you need to find dolphin, find dolphin. If you need to drop your knees, drop your knees. Inhale, come back. Exhale, forward for 3. Inhale, come back. Exhale, forward for 2. Inhale, come back. And last one, exhale, come forward. Inhale, come back. Exhale, come to your left hand. Inhale, come to your right hand. Exhale, chaturanga, maybe skip it. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog, hips lift up to the sky. Lift your left toes high, deep breath in. Step your left foot forward, exhale. Standing split, right leg high, big breath. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, rounding the upper back. 2 more, inhale that right leg back up. Exhale, bring your knee to your nose, rounding. Inhale, take your right leg back high. And exhale, draw your knee to your nose, pause, micro bend your standing leg, come all the way up. Right knee to your chest. Both arms reach up to the sky. Maybe you flex your hands, press the wrists up. Take front ribs in, wrap your biceps back. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Inhale, core is nice and tight. Exhale all the way back to that standing split. Take your hands down to the ground. Lift that right leg up to the sky. Press into your hands. Inhale, lift your left heel. Exhale, bend your left knee. Hop your left foot back to the center of your mat. Lift your left heel up. Take a deep breath. Bend the left knee. Hop your left foot all the way back. Three-legged dog. Look to the center of your mat. Lift your left heel. Bend your left knee. Hop your left foot to the center of your mat. Look between your hands, lift your left heel, bend your left knee, hop your left foot all the way forward. Good, stay for an inhale, lift that right heel up. Exhale, step your right foot all the way back, spin the right heel flat. Warrior one, deep breath in, reach both arms high. Cactus out your arms on an exhale. Bring your right elbow underneath your left, hook your forearms, hook your hands. Curl from mid back, upper back, lift, lift, lift. And exhale, bow to the inside of your left leg. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Right leg is super strong. Be mindful that that right quad isn't limp. Keep pressing down the outside of that right foot and engage that right leg. Deep inhale
and deep exhale. And keep your bow, take one more inhalation, and on your exhale, unravel your arms. Inhale, Skandasana to the right, flex your left toes up towards the sky, and stay here for your exhale. So hands can come to your heart, hands can be down, your hips can be lifted in order to keep that right heel down on the ground. And you want to make sure that your right knee is behind your right big toe. Wherever you are, find as much stretch in your spine, as much lifting up as you're rooting down. We call that the Apana and the Samana. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale, walk your hands forward, find a lunge. And on your exhale, straighten your left leg for pyramid pose once again. And lengthen the crown of your head, deep breath. And then melt your heart toward your thigh. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Look forward, micro bend your left knee. Three-legged dog, sweep your left leg up to the sky, bend the knee, open up your hip. Stretch out those hip flexors. Deep inhale and deep exhale. One more full breath. Exhale, come forward into a plank pose. Inhale, bring your left forearm down to the earth. Exhale, bring your right forearm down to the earth. Interlace your fingers except for the pinkies. Deep breath in, press the forearms down, and on your exhale, tap your nose to the thumbs for 5. Inhale, come back. Exhale, forward for 4. Inhale, come back. Exhale, forward for 3. Inhale, back. Drop the knees if you need. Exhale for 2. And inhale, come back. And last one, exhale, tap. Inhale, come back. Good, listen carefully, pause. Separate your hands to where your hands are elbow width distance, your forearms are flat on the earth. On your next inhale, shift forward, pick up your right forearm, press into your right hand. Exhale, lower that right forearm down, shift back. Shift forward, pick your left forearm off the floor, and then exhale, shift back. Now, are you ready? Look forward, shift forward, press into your hands, lift your forearms, downward facing dog. Shoo, and you might have to adjust your hands back. Deep inhalation and deep exhale. Good, inhale, drop your knees down to the earth. Exhale to child's pose, sit your hips back towards your heels, reach those arms forward. Walk your hands back towards your knees, rise up tall into your shins, reach your arms up to the sky, deep, deep breathing. Hands behind the back, interlace your fingers. Lift your chest, deep breath, and exhale, round your forehead to or towards your knees. Keep lifting those fists away from the low back, keep pulling your navel in and up. Deep inhale and deep exhale. Keep the body low, reach your arms forward, deep breath in, and exhale, tuck your toes, downward facing dog, lift your hips up and back. Right leg high to the sky, deep inhalation. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Standing split, lift your left leg up. Here's where you might want to use your blocks. Exhale, draw your knee to your nose. Option 2, shoot your left leg forward. Think pistol squat, your right knee is behind your big toe. Inhale, come back up, standing split, lift your left leg up to the sky. Exhale, option 1, knee to your chest. Option 2, shoot it forward. Inhale, take it back up, standing split. And exhale, draw it through, maybe all the way down. Use the core, press down through the center of your foot, standing split, big breath in. And on an exhale, step your left foot all the way back, spin the left heel flat, warrior 1, deep inhalation. Skater pose to the left on your exhale, left knee over the heel, flex your right toes up to the sky. Inhale to a lunge to the front of your mat, right knee over your heel. On an exhale, roll to the outer edges of both feet. Turn your toes directly towards the right side of the mat. Take your right arm up to the sky, big, big breath. And exhale, left hip hovers, reach your right fingertips back. Keep that left shoulder plugged in. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, left hip hovers, reach that right arm back. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, right arm reaches back, left hip hovers down. Inhale, lift up, deep breath. Lower your right hand underneath your shoulder. Three-legged dog, pick your right leg up and take it up to the sky.
Look to the center of your mat, lift your left heel, bend your left knee, hop your left foot as far forward as possible. Good, deep inhale, find a flat back and lengthen, and deep exhale, melt your heart towards your thigh. So from here, lift your left leg, or lift your left heel, deep breath. On an exhale, maybe you take a hop. Maybe you catch some air time. Maybe you take 2 or 3 hops. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing forward fold wherever you are. Separate your feet hip bone width apart. Lift your right toes up, slide that right hand underneath your foot, take your toes to the wrist crease. Lift your left toes, slide your left hand underneath your foot, toes to the wrist crease. Let's give our wrists some love. Elbows out, crown of the head down. And take a moment, maybe you notice one side of the body is a little different than the other without any judgment. Just allow yourself to take inventory. Maybe wiggle out those toes, give your wrist a little massage. And release your right hand, release your left hand. Halfway lift, big breath in. Let's reset. Exhale, fold forward. Rise up, micro bend the knees, reach both arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Half lift, deep inhalation. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step back, you can float back, you can just go to downward dog if that's what you'd like to do. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Take any breaks that you might need. You can always pause. Take child's pose as much as you need to. Modify as much as you need to. And know that if this is a really challenging flow, it's because it's a challenging flow. And each time you do it, you might get a little stronger. Yeah. All right. Lift your left leg up towards the sky. Deep breath. And on an exhale, step your left foot forward between your hands. Standing split. Take your right leg up to the sky. Use your blocks if you need. Exhale, draw your right knee to your chest. Maybe shoot it through for a pistol squat. Back to standing split. Deep breath in. Exhale, draw your knee to your chest. Maybe shoot it all the way through. Inhale, back to standing split. Right leg up to the sky. Last time, exhale, draw the knee in. Shoot it all the way forward. Inhale, back to standing split. Take your right leg up. Exhale, step your right leg back. Spin the right heel flat. Warrior one, deep breath in. Both arms reach high to the sky. Exhale to skater pose to the right. Flex your left toes up. Stay here for your inhale. Lift your palms up towards the sky. Stay here for your exhale. Isometrically draw your left heel in. Inhale to a lunge to the front of the mat. Hands frame your left foot. Right heel pivots up. Exhale, rotate all 10 toes to the left side of your mat. Inhale, take your left arm up to the sky. Lift your right hip up. Exhale, right hip hovers. Both arms reach. Inhale, come back up. Squeeze your inner thighs. Exhale, lower the right hip. Reach back. Inhale, lift back up. Deep breath in. Last time. And exhale, lower the hip. Reach back. Inhale, lift up. Deep breath. Exhale, lower your left hand down to the ground. Pivot that right heel up. Three-legged dog. Sweep your left leg up to the sky. Deep inhale here. Lift that right heel. Bend your right knee. Hop your right foot to the center of your mat. Look between your hands. Lift your right heel. Bend your right knee. Hop your right foot as far forward as you can. Good. Find a flat back on an in-breath. And then exhale, fold forward. Option to stay. Option to lift your right heel. Bend the right knee. Maybe take a few little hops. Maybe you catch some air time. Maybe not. It's okay. Be where you are, and every day is going to be totally different. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Standing forward fold. Inhale, find a flat back and lengthen. Exhale, fold in. Take your hands behind your calves. And though yoga means union, it doesn't mean union between your forehead and your shins in a forward fold. It doesn't mean union between you and your handstand or your inversion practice. I like to use my inversion practice as a way of connecting and staying connected to my inner child and using that childlike spirit as a way to play reminding myself that life is too short and that adults need to play around just as much as kids. Find a flat back, deep breath. Slide your hands to your hips, micro bend those knees, and on an exhale, come up with a flat back. Reach your arms back up to the sky, deep, deep breath. As you lower down, make circles with your wrists. Inhale, flat back and lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step or float it back, vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, drop your knees down to the ground. Have a seat onto your heels. And so if sitting on your knees is not comfortable for you, you can find a seat in Sukhasana, easy pose, crisscross applesauce, whatever you want to call it. Keep your left hand relaxed on your left thigh. Reach your right arm up. Maybe you grab your ear. Relax your right shoulder, take your ear down toward your shoulder. Option to stay, option to tilt your chin down toward your chest. And we always want to take care of the muscles that we use. We want to take care of our body and remember that safety never takes a holiday. The counter actions of postures are just as important as doing the posture. Bring your ear back up towards your shoulder, lift the crown of your head up to the sky, and then bring your right hand down to your right thigh. We'll do the second side. Lift your left arm all the way up and over, grab your ear, soften that shoulder down, and take your left ear towards your shoulder. You can stay or maybe start to tilt your chin down towards your chest. And breathe. These are also really great stretches to do if you might have a desk job or you sit in a car in traffic a lot. A lot of times we hold a lot of tension in our shoulders and in our neck. And bring your ear back to your shoulder. Lift the crown of your head up. Bring both hands behind your head, the base of your skull, interlace your fingers. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Bring your chin back like you're going to make a double chin, and then draw your chin in towards your throat. Look down, stretching out the back side of your neck, even the space between our shoulder blades. And a lot of us, we think our core is just our abdominal wall, but our body is a cylinder, and our core starts from our inner thighs, works up through our pelvic floor, lowest belly, low back, lateral side bodies, all the way between your shoulder blades. And using our body as a team will help us be more effective, efficient, and safe in our practice. Lift the crown of your head up to the sky and relax your hands down to your thighs. Take your feet out to one side, have a seat on the floor, and bring your legs out in front of you. Take your hands, grab your flesh. I like to say spread the love. Reach arms up, draw navel in, and exhale, fold over your legs. Deep breath in and deep breath out. You can always use a strap here if you'd like to use a towel around your legs. That'll help too. And know that it's not about touching your toes, so hands to shins, hands to the outsides of your legs. Deep inhale and deep exhale. And start to walk your hands up your shins, up your thighs. We're actually going to end in a posture called Viparita Karani. Other terms might be like waterfall or just legs up. So grab one of your blocks. You might need to scoot yourself forward on your mat. That's totally fine. Keep your knees bent. Come all the way down onto your backs. Walk your feet in as close to your glutes as possible. And just as we did before at the beginning of class, lift your shoulder blades, squeeze them together, lower them down. Press your feet down, lift your butt up, slide that block underneath your sacrum. And so I like to have mine on the flattest setting. You can work with yours if you like to have it on a different one. I just think this is more safe for my body. And then from here, take your hands down, palms down, extend your legs up to the sky. Keep a micro bend in your knees.
a space between your jaw. And you can stay here as long as you'd like. And when you are ready, you'll release the feet down to the floor, lift your hips up off your block, and take Shavasana.